Hello and welcome to the Daily Downbeat. Today's song is Why Don't You Look Into Jesus from Larry Norman's 1972 album, Only Visiting This Planet. Now, the interesting thing about this song is I've just recently found out that this was actually written by Larry Norman. I was introduced to this song off of the 1995 album Promise Man from the band Holy Soldier. And that's the version that's in the link to this description. So that's really where you go there. So we're going to jump into those lyrics. Sipping whiskey from a paper cup, you drown your sorrows till you can't stand up. Take a look at what you've done to yourself. Why don't you put the bottle back on the shelf? Yellow fingers from your cigarettes, your hands are shaking while your body sweats. Why don't you look into Jesus? You know he's got the answer. Now think back to when you were a child. Your soul was sweet, your heart ran wild. Each day was different and life was a thrill. You knew tomorrow would be better still. But things have changed, you're much older now. If you're unhappy and you don't know how, why don't you look into Jesus? You know he's got the answer. Work all night, sleep all day. You take your money, throw it all away. You say you're going to be a superstar, but you never hung around enough to find out who you really are. Take a look. Why don't you look into Jesus? So we see a narrative there. We see a person lost. We see, like the rest of us, and the same story that we've told many, many times. This person was looking for more and wasn't finding it, and digging further and further and further down instead of looking up. But really surrounding this whole narrative is really like the thought process behind, if this is really true, if Christ came and died for us, isn't that something you should look into? Isn't that something you should research? Now, in my own personal walk, I've made that decision. I've researched this thoroughly. I've looked at quite a few apologetics, really searched my heart, and come to this conclusion faithfully. But I think there's a lot of tangible elements too, and I think God has really paved the way for who he is, and I think he's very evident throughout science, throughout creation, throughout the environment, throughout nature. I think it's clearly spelled out that there is a creator. Now, the next element is to figure out who that creator is and how he's tried to connect with us. And that narrative, for me, is totally fulfilled through Jesus Christ as well. And that comes through walking this out, learning more about this, learning about the nature of who God is and who his son was. And I think Ecclesiastes 3:11 does a really good job explaining this and bringing some light to what this looks like. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. Now, if we look at that a little bit closer down here in the summary, it says God has set eternity in the human heart. This means that we can never be completely satisfied with earthly pleasures and/or pursuits, because we are created in God's image. We have a spiritual thirst. We have eternal value, and nothing but the eternal God can truly satisfy us. God has built in us a restless yearning for the kind of perfect world that can only be found in his perfect rule. He has given us a glimpse of the perfection of his creation, but it is only a glimpse. We cannot see into the future or comprehend everything, so we must trust God now and do his work on earth. Now, I think they did a really good job spelling that out, because think to yourself. Think to your own personal narrative. Do you feel satisfied? Are you completely happy with life and the physical aspect and the material goods in this world? Because I'll be quite honest with you. As a teenager, it was all about gotta have the right car. And then it started to become other things. A job, a wife, a house, a family. And you continually start to tell yourself all these other narratives are what will completely make me whole and completely make me happy, when it's not true. He has placed eternity into our hearts. His DNA is within us, and it calls to be a part of him. And as Christ told the woman at the well, he will provide us with the living water that will quench our thirst, that will make us whole. And that's a process here on earth, but it will be fulfilled in glory. And so as we look forward to that day, we continue to strive and walk with him step by step here on earth and do our best to keep that heart on that eternal path. And that's really it for today, guys. This song is great. Give it a listen. I really like the Holy Soldier version of this song, and I'm going to link that down there, but I'll also link to the Larry Norman version. And I tell you what, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, like, comment, tell me what you think. Listen to those two versions and see which one you like best. I'd like to know, Holy Soldier or Larry Norman. And hopefully you're having a great weekend. As you continue to walk that out, give some thought to where your heart's at and what you take joy in this life. Is it the things of this world, or is it God and walking towards eternity with Him? That's it for today. Hope you guys are doing well. And remember, love God, love people, and love Pat. Y'all take care.